Welcome to our Rolemaster Actual play session. Twilight of the Old Order is a campaign set in the world of Duyranaki, the continent of men. In this gritty, cutthroat world, politics, religion, and commerce are all intertwined and reign supreme. Characters need to be both smart and ruthless to survive. We hope you enjoy our story, and, as always, may the dice roll in your favor. This is episode 169 of Twilight of the Old Order. The Twilight Party, after recouping and recovering, have decided to seek out their foe, the leadership of the Committee for the New Age. We rejoin our heroes as they make their way through the underground complex after fleeing from the strange sound-attacking creature, exploring as they go. Hello, my name is Chris, alternatively known on this channel as GM Chance, and it's my great pleasure to welcome you to our story today. The story that we're telling is, well, the title is up on screen. It's called Twilight of the Old Order. The game that we're playing to tell the story is a 1980s vintage role-playing game by the name of Rolemaster. It's considered quite a crunchy role-playing system, and is largely, when I say largely, not in print. It's not you can buy copies of it, but it's harder to come by. Most of the older editions are well and truly out of print and somewhat inaccessible. But you can find copies online. I've been playing the system since the 1980s and absolutely love it. We are telling a story, as mentioned, and to tell a story, you need heroes, you need protagonists, you need characters, you need avatars to move the story along. And up on screen are indeed the 6 characters that are in play today, 6 faces that you get to know over the course of our game today, if you haven't already come across them. We have 6 characters. We normally have 5 players of those characters. 2 of our players are away today, so the other members of the team, the 3 remaining members of the team, are kindly picking up a couple of additional characters. In a second or two, we're going to go to a bit of character development, a bit of understanding the faces up on the screen a little bit more. But before we do so, our regular and very sincere, genuine thank you to all of the people that support us online. This game has been going for a long time. We started playing in July 1919. Crikey. 2019. And sometimes in person, but since the pandemic, mostly entirely online. We started recording these games and posting them on YouTube at the end of 2022. So there's a lot of material that isn't already up online. But since we started posting, we've been quite overwhelmed with the response that we've got from people. People have been interested in the story that we're telling, interested in the characters, interested in the rules, and just generally enthusiastic about the game. And, as a group of people that just do this for fun, as our hobby, that's really heartening, and we're pleased that our games are giving pleasure and interest to others. So just a big thank you to all of the supporters online, the people that comment down below in the comment section on YouTube, but also just across the various social media platforms where you can find this game, and also on podcasts. What we'd say to people that perhaps have watched maybe one or two of these, or maybe you've come across it for the first time, we really would appreciate a like down below or a subscribe. I think every single person on YouTube says exactly this, and I'm sure you've heard it a million times over, but it really does help the channel grow, and it helps. A couple of clicks from you does help other people find our stories and ultimately share our tales with others. Okay, enough from me. As mentioned before, we spent a bit of time in this game unpacking a bit about the motivations and who the 6 faces are up on screen. We think it makes for a bit of a richer game. It helps, I think, the players and also the GM understand perhaps why a character does something in a particular game, because of something to do with their background or their likes or their dislikes or their skills or whatever. So as part of that, the regular drumbeat of our game is at the beginning of a week, I'll send out a list of questions about the characters for the players to choose and then answer. And we're about to do that right now. And today, we're starting off with Giles. Giles, the mic is yours.
Thanks a lot, Chris. So I play Yotto. I'm going to say young, but he's in his hundreds. Grey elf. And the question he's going to have a crack at is, how does your character feel about the concept of destiny? Well, I think he would have seen his life as being pretty ordained, and so destiny be pretty set up until when it all went pear-shaped and his parents were murdered. At which point I think he's less clear if this is really that he has no free will and things are preordained by the gods, or whether he actually can affect change. And I guess a little bit of this quest is to help him answer that question.
Mm-hmm.
And today I'm also playing Eskel, but I don't feel brave enough to answer one of these questions for Eskel. I don't know if either of you two do. If you do, go for your life.
Nope, all good. Excellent. Well, thank you to both you and Pete for stepping in and playing someone else's character today. Appreciate it. Who would you like to hear from, Giles?
Sorry, let's hear from Graham.
Oh, thanks. I'm playing 2 characters today. First of whom is Severin, and he is going to answer the question: how does your character deal with unexpected changes in plans? I mean, that's the nature of this game, isn't it? Every role.
Yep.
Is an unexpected change in plan. We often come up with plans, and then every time we come up with a fiendish plan, mostly we just watch it disintegrate in the first couple of dice rolls. So that's the nature of the game. Then I'm also playing Tenya, and she will answer the question. Oh no, I've just lost my questions. What is the most valuable piece of information your character has acquired? I think that would be thinking back to before this game was being recorded. We came across a piece of intel when we came across this evil mage who was doing horrific experiments with lizards and on humans, and uncovered a piece of intel that connected him to this worldwide network of agents seeking to bring down the old order, hence the title of this game. And that sort of led us on a journey to here, to suddenly we've been catapulted into hero status in attempting to sort of foil this plot and bring down a not inconsiderable enemy, even though there's only 6 of us.
But very talented 6 of you.
Occasionally. Over to Pete.
Thank you. Kia ora, I'm Pete, and I'll be playing 2 characters today. First of which is Nicholas. So I'd like to answer what's the most valuable piece of information your character has acquired. I think it's hard to narrow it down. I'm going to talk about, well, where we currently are. The most valuable pieces of information would be. We received, when we were in Jibai Ratana, there was the I can't remember her name, but the basically the ruler of the city, basically who we had an inn with, she was pretty high up there. She had spies, and she let us know that the person we were hunting, Torvash Papillus, had come out of the Alameng, the swamp, because we were wanting to, sort of stop him. Basically, is sort of our mission at the moment. He had gone to Tarak Nev, come back out, and then she told us that he'd gone to a ruin of a Lord of Akana a ruin near Rascaret. So that gave us our direction for this current quest we're on, current part of where we are. Another piece of information I think that was really, really key to where we are now was when we used the glasses to decode the names on a map to use a teleportation device to go to where we are now, because we've always known that we've got to go to a place called Krakoa, Star's Grave, and figuring out the Lords of Arcana script using these sort of interpretation glasses has meant that we could choose a place on the map that's brought us to where we believe we need to be. Just sort of two random pieces of information that were really important for our current position.
Cool.
Second character I'm playing today is Jadar. Because Stara can't be with us. Not sure. How does your character feel about the concept of destiny? So she's a very firm believer in Altuma, the gods of her nation. So I'm not entirely sure how they feel about destiny. Chris, can you help out? But I imagine they probably there's a bit of a divine plan, and she would believe firmly in that, I think.
Yeah, so the Altuma faith believes in three main celestial gods and one terrestrial god. The fourth terrestrial god is the emperor of the Harabi nation of Thamazul, of where Jada is from. And destiny is often defined as what the emperor says, because of course he is one of the gods. So destiny is often discovered as being the words of which the emperor will say. And there's often quite a lot of fascinating insight that actually the emperor will be able to say afterwards that he had divined a particular thing that was going to happen, and that was destiny. Generally, with when things go his way, that's considered divine, and if things don't go his way, then there are people meddling in his affairs.
Right. He can blame free will, probably.
Wee bit.
Yeah. It's a great way of running a system, I think.
It's handy being a god, right?
Well, you'd know. Sorry. Yeah. So that's. Thank you very much for that information about Jada and her. Oh dear, yeah, her beliefs.
There you go.
A bit of a window into the family dynamic there.
Very good. Marvelous. So, those are the characters. Those are the 6 characters named, as you can see now up on screen. And also, Pete, thank you very, very much. Those are the questions that I sent out earlier in the week. Those are the kind of questions that the players get to mull over for their characters. Okay, Pete, handing over to you, please, to provide us with a quick update of what happened last time. Just realizing I haven't got some of my pre-prepared stuff ready to go, so I'll jump in as and when I can.
Cool, thank you. So we started. We are in another Lords of Arcana ruin. We're figuring near Krakow, we hope. We've been. Seems to be some sort of guardian made out of sound. We're thinking, and when you attack it, it splits off little ones, and it keeps attacking us with sort of waves of sound or different sort of attacks. But it's quite nasty, quite powerful, and we're not sure how to beat it. In sessions before, we started this the one just before this, sort of doing a bit of a retreating sort of attack back to the room that we sort of teleported into. and we sort of keep getting attacked by it, but we sort of figured out that we could cast this bubble of stillness so the air doesn't move within it, and so the sound can't propagate and the sound attacks can't propagate through it. Some of the attacks can't, some still do. So the attacks weren't as effective as perhaps as effective on us perhaps as other people. We kept retreating and beating a retreat into this main room. Tanya attacked one and attacked a little one, I think, and it died, I'm pretty sure. Yes. Lyoto rejoined us because he had been over exploring the bronze sort of torture statues, or I don't know, we're not quite sure what they were, but the people were hanging upside down from chains, it looked like. I believe Tanya shot again, and after having killed one, I think she might have killed it. Maybe she didn't. It spawned another one because it hit the big one. There's the sound creature there. Pretty cool. And it sort of moves quite slowly, so that's how we can be retreating from it. But it seems sort of inexorable, would maybe be a word for it. So I think Severin also attacked one, and maybe one of the little ones. Not sure. We decided this was enough, and we all in the same sort of together. We ran past the creature and its little babies, and basically decided to make our exit in the opposite direction. So we're still running away from it, bravely running away, but towards where it had come from and towards the exit of this complex, because the way we got in seems to be blocked. The teleportation device that we used seems to not work any longer because it was damaged. Before that happened, I think, as that was happening, notably there were several attacks at one point on Severin alone. Like, I think he had attacked from the parent and from two of its babies, all in one round, and amazingly he survived all three. It was just, because I think they're quite tough. And I think at that time also he had his stun stick had run out, so he'd got a magic totem that stopped him from, when he's activated, it stops him from being stunned, and that was one of the major effects of their attacks, was that it would stun you, so you're sort of can't do much else. Basically, we just ran away and used that we could move sort of double, or at least double the speed they can, to get right away from them, right through where we'd explored before, through a chamber where there were some sort of apparitions. There they are, thank you. Of, we believe, Lords of Arcana. We don't know what the purpose of this vision is. Don't know if it's a trap. Don't know if it's going to have significance later. I'm not sure. This was when we had first came to this room, there's nothing there, and then sort of we crossed the threshold, or some sort of trigger, and this vision appeared. We skirted round them, went through the doors. They don't seem to take too much notice of us. Closed the doors behind us and ran up some stairs to where we first sort of encountered the sound creature, and we're just doing a bit of exploring in this room here. I think I'll leave it there, Chris. I think we're probably going to have a bit of orientation around this room.
Yeah, great.
Start as well.
Perfect. Thanks, Pete. Excellent. Well done, as per usual. So this was the direction that you fled, down here. And if we get somebody with a light, I might just clone Nicholas. See down there, those doors are closed. You did close them behind you. Just a slight tweak on my map didn't quite work. Yes, you came to here, and there's a short flight of stairs that has led up into this chamber you find yourselves in now. In this chamber here, and by the way, it's interesting when you narrate this game and you think you know what you said, and then you come back and do the edit afterwards and actually listen to what you said. Turns out I completely put you wrong. In the actual recording, I heard myself say that there are doors here, and Graham, you queried me a bit later on saying, I thought you'd said there were doors. Anyway, turns out I misspoke. There are no doors there. So you're in this large room here, and when I say large, we are talking some 140 foot long and some 130 foot wide, quite decent size. And in this room, there are 4 doorways, no doors. One is here, another is here, one is here where Tanya is standing, and then one is the way that you came in. There are... Come on, don't freeze on me. There we go. For some reason my software is just pausing on me. 6 very, very large columns that you can see there, and mirrored by 3 on each side. There's this strange lip, or what would you describe it as? Lip, small shelf, perhaps, was almost like the barrier of a fountain. Inside, not depicted, but inside, which Yotto had a look at, are some red tiles inside there. This here is the GM explaining that there are actually some stairs there. You can see them if I move Severin in. There are some stairs there, but as written on the map, they're actually longer. They're at least 60 foot up. So those are on the map relatively short, but in reality, in our game, they go up quite a long way. Moderately steep, and of course quite widely spaced. Everything in this complex, as per the previous complex you're in, is just a bit bigger. The only other thing to particularly note is, again, I'll borrow Severin and his light, is through this doorway here. Firstly, there's some rubble and detritus and bits of the ceiling and other things. And inside here you can see, firstly, some bones, quite prominently. 2 sarcophagi, very large sarcophagi. But yes, perhaps most curious enough, these things, whatever these are, they're to scale. So, if that's Severin, these are large, very, very large. They are pretty much doing exactly that. They're not moving at all, or not moving fast, creeping around, and are basically just doing what you can see on screen. Slowly kind of flicking their tails, moving slightly perhaps. This one has moved, a little bit in this direction. This one has moved a little bit in this direction since you came in. This one has moved a little bit in this direction. But other than that, they're pretty much as on screen. The only other thing to note in here, which isn't on screen, is a large tapestry, or they're ripped, torn, faded. There were some others in the room you came from here. And then the very last thing to note is this corridor here goes down. You can see a flight of stairs there. Goes down and then turns a corner. Goes around that way where Nicholas is going. So down, same level as you, and then flight of stairs that go quite a long way up. Hit a landing you can just make out at the top, and go off in that direction. Go off around to the side. Any questions with that? I should have actually put that on full screen, but never mind. Any questions with any of that? Anything that's not clear? Anything that you need clarification on before we start the game?
Yes. Did Yotto's? I'm sorry, I forgot to say that Yotto jumped into that well, pool, garden bed, whatever it was.
He got out of it again, as far as I remember.
Yeah.
Yep.
And what was the reaction, and did he share it? Because I think he felt it started getting hot, or he felt it was a bad place to be, and
felt deeply uncomfortable, had a sense of unease, and couldn't see any twitches, switches, triggers, or way to kind of, there was no on-off button in there. Essentially, couldn't see anything. On the presumption this might be where Mr. Windy likes to hang out.
Mr. Windy, Mr. Windy. And
Mr.
just on that, there is for some characters a little bit more information. Actually, who have we got? Everybody. So some information coming into just a second, into not Jada, not Nicholas, not Severin, into Tanya's channel. Oops, would be if I cut and paste correctly. Into Askell's channel, which falls to Giles, but this is also the case for Yotto as well. So I'll put this for both Askell and Giles.
Chris, I presume you just drop things into my channel, Yotto's channel for Askell as well. If you just identify for which character, that's great.
Correct. So the same for both of you. So yeah, a little bit more information to your channels. Any other clarification? Anything we need to do before we start the game? Any other questions? Nope. Okay. If you're sitting.
Oh, one thing.
Yep.
One thing. Have we come across these twitching worm things? Did we come across these in the before?
In the in-between. Yeah.
In the in-between.
Is that something we do in game to have our characters have that discussion?
Yeah.
Yeah. Good point.
Okay.
All right. If you're sitting comfortably, if you're as curious to see what happens as I am, let's start the game. Just quickly where characters are, and then I'm not going to... people just freeform, just tell me what's happening. Askell is here, looking back down this way, the way you've come. Nicholas and Jada are here. Tanya's on guard at the store. Severin's over here. And Yotto's here. What happens, please?
I think
One of them first.
One.
I was just going to say, I think Yotto would share that since he's hopped out of this thing, he still has this kind of odd feeling, which is a bit like a kind of a low-grade headache and a funny metallic taste in his mouth. And I think that's the truest same of Askell, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. And obviously, Askell's guarding the door, so he might not be privy to that conversation.
Penny confirms that. She's feeling the same. And our plan is to have a look around, unless that Mr. Windy, the Roger Hargreaves character that never got the green light, comes through the door. Was that the plan? And then we
I think so, yeah.
Run out of here upstairs.
Yeah. So can I just check, Chris? Askell's situated by the beginning of the long corridor that Mr. Windy will come down.
He's here. Yes.
Yeah, jolly good. In which case, Yotto would go over to the big wormy things. Oh, have you seen these wormy things before?
Well, similar. When we were in the in-between, just after we encountered a oversized undead centipede, it happens. We came across these. Well, actually, they may have. Some of them were hanging from the ceiling, I think, twitching, and then there were some of them on the floor. I think. Was that right, Pete?
Yeah, I remember them on the ceiling.
Maybe they're different things.
Yeah. Well, can we make a memory roll, please?
I don't know that we discovered what they were, though. Even.
Yeah, give me a mass memory roll.
Like sort of a visual comparison sort of thing.
Who was making this roll, and where are they standing?
Well, if I assume that I think we all sort of explored the room before, did we? I think we did. I think that Jada and Nicholas were following.
Okay. All right. I
Tanya,
don't remember that. But, yep.
Yeah, I don't know. But someone who was it who saw those? I suppose
Severin first off, because he came over here to investigate here.
So maybe Severin needs to do that role.
Okay, his memory's not that great.
Yeah, but he could alert the rest of it. Sorry.
Yeah, he said, "Hey, look, things over there twitching. Does anyone remember these?"
Nicholas would go and cautiously would want to go and have a look, and he will not stand in front of the entryway. He'll peer around the corner. Well, he won't be right up against the corner. He'll sort of hide behind the pillar and peer around the pillar or something.
Actually, his memory's not bad. Can he do a memory check?
You both can if you wish. So where does Nicholas stand to have a look at these?
Further. Well, wherever he can, as far away from them as possible. and he wants to have cover. So the furthest he can be when he can actually sort of see them.
Yeah, about there.
Okay, and he will be peering out from behind the pillar. He's cautious.
Yeah, sure. Cool. So, Severin, first off, give me a roll, please.
44. And his memory is +7.
Okay. Maybe familiar from in between. No, you can't be sure. You can't be sure. I mean, you've seen so much horrific stuff. Yeah, you're not sure. And Nicholas?
Nicholas rolled what did he roll? An 84.
Roll again, please.
And it's a 1.
1. Cool. And what's his memory?
Plus 24.
Yeah, Nicholas, you're pretty convinced you've never seen anything like this before.
Right. Cool. Thank you.
So I think Yotto might suggest to Nicholas that they try and throw something at them to see if they move in response to movement or sound or vibration. So, what senses are they using to move? And if we can't get anything, someone should go have a look at the coffins. I think that's what we'd want to do. Are these rocks, Chris, at the edge of the...
Yeah, yep. So there's some bits of the ceiling and just some other kind of crumbling remains.
So I think Yotto would be happy to do that. He would move, he'd walk up to this big wall, so standing next to Severin. Yeah, but he wouldn't go on that line, he'd walk towards, if it's Severin, and walk along the wall, so, if these things spit things, he won't be an obvious target. Pick up a stone and toss it into the room to see how they react.
Sure. Where are you? Yeah, any other action from anybody?
Yeah. Nicholas would want to reposition himself to going the long way around, or going as close to the well, alongside the wall of the well, and then that's it. Yeah, exactly. Over there. And Jada would also move over that direction, past Tanya's side of the thing. That's the one.
Quite black back there. Askell is in the dark.
Oh, okay.
Nicholas has the
We need to
light.
give him a torch.
Okay.
Hang on.
Well, Jada will do that. Jada will go and who's got a spear? Who's got the other torches? I'll have a look. And Jada will go to whoever's got a torch. I think Severin might have a second one.
So Yotto's got a torchlit too. Someone needs to give one to our guard.
Yep.
Severin's got a torch. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's using a torch now, or he's...
Yeah, he lit one, I think, last minute.
Yeah, the three characters have light: Yotto, Severin, and Nicholas.
Nicholas will give his lantern. Nicholas will go back over and be with Askell.
Okay. And Jada does what?
She'll go over and be near the bottom of the stairs, the escape stairs. I get to play the two scaredy cat characters.
Okay, sure. Nicholas heads back. Where does he stand?
He'll stand between Askell and Tanya.
Okay.
Yep. Around the corner. Yeah,
and
perfect.
any actions from Tanya I should know?
So she's currently where? She's checking out the...
She's just, as far as I know, she's just standing here. And bearing in mind, Graham, you can't see you're not looking at the map often. To my knowledge, she's just standing here at this door.
She's by the second entranceway, Graham.
That's
The room, not steps going
Not
up,
up,
steps
not
going
down.
No, there's short flight of stairs that go down here.
Oh, well, we've not been...
Severin's by the stairs going up, Tanya's by the stairs going down.
Short flight of stairs, very short flight of stairs going down. You can see the stairs there, perhaps.
Okay, I think
So essentially she's acting as guard on the other entranceway.
Okay, I think while this is going on, she'll light a torch.
Okay. So, how long will that... Describe what you do with lighting a torch, please.
So reach behind, it's in a pack pocket. So
Yep.
she'll pull it out and then go to the belt, get a flint, light it.
Okay, cool. So that will take... To light steel. That'll take.
Oh, to be honest, if there's someone close, if it's quicker, she'll walk over to someone else with a torch and light it off that, and then come back.
Okay. Well, that
Whatever's quicker.
Definitely, that would be quicker. So,
Okay.
just as a heads up, to
She'll go with a Severin.
Yep. So, just for people's information, this is a world where there ain't no kind of, there aren't any matches, there aren't any big lighters to get a fire going or to get a spark going. Just curious myself now. There's a fire starting bow. Flint and steel starts a fire in 3 minutes. Fire starting bow starts a fire in 5 minutes. So lighting a torch is not a quick process. So you do have light. So she goes over and gets a light off Severin. Is that right?
Yep.
Cool.
And then comes back to the passage and might have a little peek whenever it's her go.
Okay, cool. So just do custom. Take this off screen. Yep. This one really should make a copy of. So there is Tanya. The torch. So she's standing there now with a lit torch. That would have taken a minute or so to do that. Okay, Yotto, you've moved into position. This is happening simultaneously with Tanya lighting a torch. You pick up a piece of rubble, and what's your plan? Where do you plan to throw your piece of rubble?
Yeah, okay, to the left of that first bug.
So, hereish.
Yeah, that'll do.
Yep, cool.
I don't want to land it on one of them. I want to land it so it's going to cause, noise and vibration. I want to see how they react.
Yeah, sure. So just give me an agility check, just a +0, just to see how you roll, just how far off your throw is.
So my agility's +13 and I rolled a 30.
30. Okay, I mean not a great shot. It lands roughly where you wanted it to, kind of about there, probably a bit closer to the critter than you'd planned. Nothing really happens.
Okay, he'll lean around the corner and shout.
And shout?
No. Yep, so I don't want to stand there, just lean around, holler, and be ready to pull his head back if they spit something at him.
Okay.
Do they respond to noise?
Doesn't seem to, no.
Okay. I think he'd want to go and have a look in the copper guy, but he'd want someone with, before he does that, Chris, he'd want to go and have a chat to someone with a bow who can stand close. So if one of them has a go at them, they can take a pot shot so he can get out of dodge if he gets nailed. So I can't remember. Who's got a bow? Is it just Tanya?
You'll notice Severin has a bow, as well as Tanya.
Oh, cool. So we go and ask Severin if Jadar's keeping an eye on the stairs up. Would he be able to come, put an arrow on the string, and be ready to shoot one of these critters if Yotto gets bit going in?
All right. He'll stand well back and position himself at such an angle that he's not going to shoot Yotto in the back of the head. And put an arrow on the string and line up a shot at a distance, but making careful that his shot will go past Yotto and there's no chance of no friendly fire.
So you would have, and with the lantern that you've got, or the torch that you've got, give that to
I'll give that to someone who hasn't got a torch, or put it on the floor, one of the two.
Jada's happy to take it.
Okay, I'm not going to swap out the tokens just at the stage. Where does Severin position himself, please, Graham?
So such an angle where he can shoot the thing but not shoot Yotto.
Okay, so maybe about there. If Yotto goes down this side,
So
Severin
Chris,
would have a field of fire this way, but not shoot Yotto.
okay, yeah, and just because Graham can't see the map,
Of course, yes,
um,
yep.
I think Severin might want to be a bit closer than this, so because it'll improve his accuracy considerably, right?
Yep, and also the
Um,
light. He doesn't have the light. He's only relying off the light off Yotto.
so I think if he stands at the corner where Yotto used to be, right, then he's essentially out of harm's way, and he can sort of peek around
Okay, sure.
the corner with an arrow on the string.
Done.
And then
Sure.
if he needs to take a shot, he could. He's close, but the chances of him getting hit are very low.
Okay.
Yeah, I might. Sorry, I just dropped out of it. I'd take a little bit further back than that, I think, just so I can get a good shot.
You can see.
I'm not going to be squirted by
Okay.
undead juice.
Yep, there you go. Cool. Great. What happens now?
I'm going to traipse down, being careful. I'm going to watch them closely, right? If they move to have a go at me, he's going to be ready to spring backwards. And I think that would be some kind of, diving roll to maximize the space he's got. And if they appear not to move, then he'll move as lightly footedly as he can.
Mhm.
And he essentially wants to get around the corner and look at the old bones.
Okay. So just
Or
to check,
look in these stuff.
just to check what Yotto is doing with his hands, he's got a torch or a lantern in one hand.
Yep, so he'll hold his lantern in one hand and he'll have his dagger drawn in the other.
Dagger, sure. Okay. So you come into this room and you get quite uncomfortably close to this one. You're keeping as far away. Whoops! I'm assuming you're keeping as far away from it as you can, but you're still relatively close to it.
Yep.
You can see the room there, Yotto, pretty well.
Yep.
There are these much larger than a normal human size stone boxes. There's some shattered stone beside them. You can see in there's some bones, and there in this corner over here there is for one thing, there is a reasonable size hole in the grounds about here, quite large, and then just a little bit further away from it, about here, there's a pile of kind of rock and rubble and bits of boxes and stuff. Perhaps something shiny in there too.
Shiny.
In terms of the boxes themselves, there are bones. You can see there are bones inside that one, and then there are the remains of a skeleton. You've come up to this corner. You've come up to this corner. I've got you just currently at this corner. Are you doing anything else at this stage?
There are no artifacts in either of the sarcophagi.
It's what you can see there, what I've described.
Okay, so he's going to creep around the corner towards shiny.
Okay, give me a perception roll, please.
83.
83, it's masked. Okay. And what?
54.
Plus 54, cool. Okay. Coming. Yeah, it's like the remains of a wooden crate, and you actually think the shiny that you saw was a glint off a nail, frankly. You think, maybe? I don't know. Maybe not. Not sure. But
He's going to go check it out.
Yeah, could have been just the glint off the nail, maybe. Okay, go up to the corner. You are now these three things. This one has moved a little bit further here. This one here has come back a little bit and has turned a little bit this way. This one here has moved over the sarcophagus. It's doing that. Okay, you're now... So there's a hole, not actually on the map, right there.
Yep.
And there's this kind of slimy, viscous... This looks like a Vaseline-y type substance around the edge of the hole. A slimy and there are several slimy trails going into the room. And yes, right where you're standing, at your feet, there's just this pile of what appears to be junk.
Nothing in it.
What do you do?
Well, I'm going to check it out, see if there's anything in it.
What does check it out mean?
So you have a sift through this pile of junk.
Ah, okay.
Right, so he'll see this dagger, have a look around, see if he can see. He'll be reasonably rapid about it.
Yep.
If there's nothing obvious, he'll take his dagger back out and exit stage left.
Yeah, you do find something. Actually, Yodu. And you weren't quite sure with the glint. It could have been just the nail you thought initially, but maybe not. But then you discover perhaps it wasn't. And just coming into your channel in a second. Oops, you
Please
find
be a pink frilly dress. Please be a pink frilly dress.
It's a plus 20 haberdashery. Here it's coming.
you find the following.
I rolled the wrong channel, sorry.
Coming into the Yotto channel any seconds. Here you go. Here you go.
Okay. He will definitely take that.
Okay.
And he will very gently retrace his steps, being as avoidant as possible of the big thingamywhatsits.
Okay. Oops, wrong one. But okay, you begin to walk your way back. Yeah. Are other people doing anything? Let's say Severin was about to say something, and then we'll go to the other characters.
Oh yeah, Severin just wanted to ask, as he comes back, just want to know what you saw, just so that we're all aware what you saw.
Yeah, so when Yotto's out, he'll show people. Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, he's got to get.
There was a little hole. There was a hole with some viscous stuff around it.
Well, hang on. You don't know that. Severin doesn't know that. So, anybody else saying or doing anything while Yotto is exploring?
Oh. Well, yeah. Tanya wouldn't mind just having a little peek up that passageway, just lifting the torch up.
Okay.
She's just going to look for some traps immediately in front of her, and looking for things on the floor. But she just wants to see just if she can see anything more down that passage.
Okay. So 2 rolls: a detect traps roll and then a perception roll. Give me the first one, which is detect traps.
$49.
Okay. And what's her detect traps?
57.
57 is the detect
Yep.
traps. Okay.
Yep.
She can't see anything untoward. As noted, there's and I realise you're not looking at the map, Graham, but directly in front of her, there's a short flight of stairs that would go down maybe 20 or 30 foot, not far, down to a landing, and then it turns a corner to the left. She can't see anything trap-wise. Give me a roll for just generally perceiving, please.
75 plus 85.
75, thank you.
And she'd like to sort of just continue in that same regard, perceiving and trapping, to the corner and just have a little peek round.
Oh, she's going down? Okay.
Yeah, just to the corner.
Okay. Sure. She goes down and carefully down the stairs, gets to the ground, peers around the corner. What she sees is as follows. A room, relatively small room, and a huge metal, looks like iron doors or something that have collapsed in to the room. It looks like they were in place. They were blocking this entrance as a barrier, and then some kind of cage. Like that. Other stuff that she would see without a perception roll. It's pretty much about it. It's quite a small, relatively small room.
Okay. She'll. So she could see the extent of the room, or
she can just make out not the extent. Damn it! There we go. She can make out that it's not that big. She can make it out that it's 90 foot away from her is the far wall.
Okay. Well, she'll go to in the head of the grill.
Yep.
And just I raise a torch, have a quick glance around the room, get ready to run if there's something there. But
Scanning the room, there's some bones she sees.
them bones.
Them bones, and up here, very high, is the remains of a skeleton.
Okay.
Other than that, the room appears to be empty.
All right, thanks. You'll backtrack.
Okay. And can I please have, at this juncture, can I please have a sorry about that. A perception roll from Askell, thanks.
$64.
Oh, roll again, please. Sorry,
50. 50.
5-0.
Yeah, and he's plus 37.
Cool. Okay, and Nicholas, can I ask this because you are standing there as well? Can I ask one from you, please?
Yep. It's 15, 1-5.
Mm-hmm. And
Perception is 45.
okay, so probably do this separately, but I'm not going to. Askell, you are aware of a sound. It sounds like kind of grating metal. It sounds like voices. It sounds like all kinds of things. You had heard it previously before with that large, unpleasant mass, whatever it is. You, Askell, are utterly convinced it's from over here. Nicholas, you heard something. You're not quite sure what, but you're not quite sure where it's from. But you think it might be from over here, maybe, or you're not quite sure. And then we'll head back to Yotto. Yotto, you've come here. These things have moved a bit, and you might need to make, well, you will need to make some kind of maneuver, an easy maneuver, just to avoid that creature's tail as you step out. If assuming you want to, unless you do something else.
Yeah, no, I absolutely want to get out of here. Yeah.
Okay. Could you give me it will be a light maneuver, an all or nothing light maneuver, just to avoid not touching it. Basically, is probably your aim.
What do I need to roll?
As per usual, 100, and then add on your agility.
And how will I know I've all or nothing avoided it?
I'll tell you.
76 plus 13, 89 in total.
It's a good roll. 89. Yeah, you're 100% successful. So you move up. You can see that thing's tail. It's kind of flicking around a bit like that and a bit like that. You manage to step over it without any issue. You don't touch it at all. You're here, and do you move out of the room, or what do you do?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll go up and join Severin.
Right. Okay.
Okay, in.
And we'll
I
leave
think
that.
S.
And we'll leave that there for the moment. Any other actions from anybody else, please?
Yeah, so Askell would want to talk to, who's next to Askell? Nicholas.
Nicholas.
Yeah.
And he'd ask him something that, did you hear that? I heard a noise. Has he heard this noise before, Chris?
Yeah, I just said that.
The sound creature's noise.
I
It's that.
literally just said that. Yes.
Sorry, I was more focused on where it was coming from. So I think he'd say he'd heard the creature's noise, but it's not coming from down the corridor as I expected. It's coming from the corner. I think we need to get out of here and fast. And I think he'd suggest to Nicholas they grab Tanya and all get back together.
Nicholas is, as he's saying that, Nicholas would be starting to move. Yeah, we're moving, and Nicholas would call to Tanya as well. And we can hear it coming, is what he would
And
say.
it's a flat floor, isn't it? I think we'd be moving swiftly.
Absolutely.
Up the stairs.
Yep.
Tanya running.
And that's the sounds you're hearing.
Yeah, no, out of here.
And Nicholas, you just see little filaments of light, etc., coming through the door at the far end.
Yeah.
He'll as he's departing. I can see it. We can hear it. It's coming. Basically.
Askell, you could have sworn you heard it over here, but
He's moving. He wants to swim.
Okay. And others, please.
Running upstairs.
Okay. Everybody.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, I'll just leave someone behind.
Oh, those dawdlers.
Okay. So 3 characters here. 3 characters here. And off you go. So, as mentioned, you are running upstairs 60 foot. So not the short distance that you can see on the map. And definitely Askell, Tanya, less so for Askell, but particularly for Yotto and Tanya, that queer feeling that you're having in your head is intensifying, and the taste of metal in your mouth and just feeling just generally kind of odd is getting more intense. You get up the stairs, you turn the corner, and I'll slow the sound. The noise behind you is definitely getting more distant, like you're outpacing it, and you find yourselves here. You see in front of you some rubble in a very large room, but perhaps most interestingly of all, there is a figure standing in front of you, humanoids in size, and they look like this. Zoom in a little bit closer. Flowers, clawed feet, greenish in tinge, and with leaves, etc., coming out of the tops of their head. They are standing that distance away from you as you get to the top of the landing, approximately, call it 70 foot away. And with that, GM's just going to quickly go out and get another drink. Back in a second.
Be nice to think we can meet something that we can make friends with. I suppose this is going to be the time, but it'd be good to ascertain whether there's an exit from this room, wouldn't it? Well, you're on mute.
Sorry, I said there has to be because there's none from anywhere else, right?
Well, that yeah. I mean, Tanya would explain that she went into a cell, what was clearly a cell, with the door blasted off. Unlikely to be any secret passages there, obviously inside a cell. So, but there was one other passage, wasn't there, that we haven't run down? Is that right?
No, that's it.
That's it.
Yeah, you're on mute as well, Giles. So there's the entrance one that came upstairs, and next to that was Tanya's one that went downstairs to the cell. That was 2, and then the other end there's the maggot room, and the one we've just come up. So just 4.
Okay. What did you see, Giles? Down there, there was a little.
Yeah. So, he's found what looks like the Horn of Plenty. So it's an ivory horn with a rim of brass around the top, covered in, bas relief of people. Yeah.
So you can blow
one presumes this horn does something if you blow it, but I suspect it could do anything from make a noise to explode shit.
Yeah, but
so maybe we want to A, see if it's magical, B, try to attune to it, and then see if we can figure out what it does.
So if we are in a sticky situation with that creature, it might be something to blow, right?
You would think, yeah, that's right. If this is a wind creature, this is a horn, a bit of a blow, maybe this is what blows it up. There is kind of a weird logic to that, or controls it. So if you're one of the Lords of Arcana and you've made this thing, you kind of need a mechanism to manage it, I suppose, and maybe this is it.
True.
Yeah.
If we get really stuffed, I suppose we could do that, but ideally, who is it who can kind of see if it's magic, and
Ada can.
Then we can have a go at trying to attune to it. So
Yeah.
They'll take too long. I think we've got to get...
If we get time, we can't do it at the moment, I agree.
Yeah.
Are we going to try and say we come in peace?
Yep. Let's slow ourselves down. If Severin's happy to do the talking, I don't know.
Right.
But hang on, is someone if we got like a wood elf or someone who's into,
Nature.
trees and flowers?
Well, I mean, he can activate the
Earbuds.
if necessary, yeah.
What do they do? Oh, they let you hear anything, yeah.
Actually, no, he can't because it's only once per day, and I think he did it already.
Did he?
Yes.
Yeah, to see if he could understand the visions, didn't he?
Yeah. Maybe he did.
All right, GM is back, and he's got a very, very tasty IPA with him. So watch out. Game could get a lot more interesting. Okay.
11:20. Blimey.
It's 11 o'clock, Chris.
It's past 12 somewhere, right?
You forget what I do for a job, my friend.
What do you do?
I guess, addiction specialist. Mr. 11 o'clock drinker. That's
11:23. Thank you very much.
So long as you tell me it's not your fourth, then I'm okay.
No, it's not my fourth.
And it's a gaming thing, right?
It's a game. Beer and gaming goes together, for sure.
That's why you wanted to start at 6, Chris.
Yeah,
I'm
right.
already strung out on crack, so...
Just crack today, Graham. That's unusual for you. I thought of toast of the heart stuff.
Light day. Yeah, light day.
Yep. What do you do, guys?
So Severin's going to say, hello there, we come in peace.
Okay. There is no reaction from the being.
In every language he knows.
Sure. It just walks off and walks out of sight around the corner.
Okay. Do you say it? There's just one, is there?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Can we see an exit?
Nope.
Oh.
Right, shall we all move forward together?
Yep. Let's go take the other corner, the other side.
And just have we'll move forward and then
Yotto will.
Sorry, Yotto will.
Graham. Show the other characters the horn he's found. So probably the easiest way of doing this would be to post it in the main game chat.
Do you want me to do it, or do you want to do it?
Yes, I don't know how because I'm computer illiterate.
Okay, so what Yotto shows you is, I won't post it. What Yotto shows you is this.
Blimey.
I don't think it's person-sized.
No, it's not person-sized.
It
It's
doesn't
large.
have any sense of scale.
It doesn't. No, it doesn't on that image. It is large, designed for a larger person, but still drinkable from your size. But definitely quite big. It'll be kind of, you see on screen, probably not quite, kind of like that.
Yep. So it's going to hold two IPAs happily.
Could hold 2 IPAs happily.
But it's a drinking horn, not a blowing horn.
It's a drinking horn.
Okay. All right, that's very nice. Very nice, Yotto. Looks like
Very horny.
Horn of laugh, yeah. Well, can we see another exit?
So you come into this room. As you move into this room, the angry sounds, the whatever it is, fades. It's definitely getting fainter as you move away, and then just on the very edge of your hearing as you come in. This is what you see coming into this room. So firstly, some bones. Then some rubble, some more rubble, and it's over here. Yeah, some more rubble. All that. And this figure has moved over. Whoops. A little bit of delay on my machine. Has moved over and is surveying the wall, the corner, staring quite intently at the corner. I'm guessing you may not be standing on the bones. There is the remains. There is the remains of a skeleton there with armor and weapons. You can see, and there is indeed another doorway in that direction. Around here, just the remains of the room.
Okay. Well, without pause, move to the door. Those at the back, well, certainly Tanya won't turn her back on it. Just move swiftly to the doorway.
Okay. You move swiftly to the doorway?
Without turning backs.
Without turning your backs.
Interesting, she's looking at the wall, though.
Yeah, do we want to have a look, please?
No, let's just keep going for now, shall we?
Anybody else doing anything I should be aware of? Oh, okay.
We're going to come back.
Okay, hang on. So I think Yotto might have a look at the wall that this person's looking at, but he will stay with the party, so he's not going to be left behind. He'll turn around and have a look, see if he can see anything.
Give me a roll.
It's 38.
38, sure. Okay. What's his bonus, please?
54.
He can't see anything.
Right, so he's just going to stick with the party.
The last thing he sees, however, is this woman, this figure, walk through the wall.
It's weird. He'll tell the party she's disappeared through the wall. We've got a little bit of time. Do we want to go and check this wall out?
Yeah, if you want.
And there's now nothing in here. So okay, I think maybe Yotto would suggest somebody else comes with him, and we'll go and have a closer look at the wall. Buttons, traps, bits and bobs. But who's got our best looky-see skill?
Well, let's just see what the wall does. I mean, there's no lock at the moment. So Severin will put an arrow. Well, both Severin and Tanya will put arrows on their strings, and see what happens.
Yep, and as you've seen, Jada will accompany Yotto, but sticking behind him.
Okay.
And again, the positioning an angle that they could shoot something without shooting those two.
Okay. Give me a perception roll, please, Yotto and Jada. Actually, Yotto, you've given me one, so actually just Jada, actually.
She rolled an 85.
Yep. What's her bonus?
Oh. Sorry. 63.
Super. You can't see anything unusual about this wall, Jada. There's no signs of an entry or an exit way. There's no marks on the wall that you can see. It appears to be just these large slabs of grey stone. And Yotto's holding up his lantern as well and having a look around. You can't see anything unusual about it.
She'll say that to Yotto. Has he poked it? Touched it?
No, maybe he will. let's give it a bit of a. I mean, so the purpose for coming closer, Chris, obviously, is to look for a mechanism by where this wall may either be an illusion or not be here. So it's
Sure.
specific and he's much closer.
Yep.
And if he can't see anything, he will indeed see if he can stick his hand through it.
Okay. Oh, feels like stone to you.
It's really good. Okay, so this thing probably is a ghost.
Yep,
Yeah.
let's move on.
All right, so we'll head back to the party. Yeah, head back to the party and keep going.
And you move your way across this room.
Tenure will give a cursory glance just as the entrance, just for traps, please.
Okay, sure. Give me a roll.
Um, Ten.
10 could be amazing. And
I'm
what's her skill?
Her skill for detect traps is 57.
She just notice anything, but there is one flagstone in the center. This one here, actually, and it has just this mark of a star on it. You've seen the star before. It looks like. I'll show you. It looks like that top middle one. You've seen.
Is that where? Was that the symbol that we set? Yeah.
I think that's Krakoa. Yep.
Okay, we should stop.
Double check.
She'll stop and say, "Hey, look at that stone." Anyone else notice anything unusual about that?
Everyone's going to have a good hard look, aren't they?
Yep. Okay.
Has anyone else got detect traps?
So could I ask for two more rolls rather than completely overgame this, please?
What's you got a good perception, haven't you, Yoto?
57, so it's not terrible, but I wouldn't really call it good.
All right, Severin will have a crack then.
Okay, give me a roll, please.
Better than Essex.
8.
8. Okay, remember, it could be credible.
Yes, I'm hoping. 80 plus 80, 80.
8 plus 80, sure thing.
Anyone else better than 57?
Whoever that was that Severin? I think you said.
Yeah.
Can you roll again, please?
$81.
And plus 80. Severin, you have a very good look at this stone. You don't touch it, of course, but put the map on, because they've taken the map off, I've realised. You don't see anything untoward about this flagstone. Yeah, that you certainly see the symbol that Tanya has pointed out, but you don't see anything else about it.
Jada's got a perception of 63.
Mm-hmm.
She might. Yep, she'll have a go.
Sure.
What did I roll? Oh, can someone look at what I rolled, please? Because I was looking for the map and higher up the chat.
47.
Thank you.
47. Oh, roll again, please.
Oopsies. And that's oh goodness. Sorry, someone else please report what that one is.
1.
Again.
Is it a 1? It is a 1?
Yes, it's 1.
Okay.
Thank you. I'm back now.
Okay. And what's Nicholas's perception, please?
This is Jada at 63.
Okay. No, she's got absolutely no idea.
She will, or Nicholas will, I don't know if we need to do a memory check, but someone, I'm sure we can remember, will say, yes, that is the symbol for Krakow.
This has been a matter of hours since
cool.
not even that, an hour and a half maybe. You definitely know it. Yep.
And that flagstone, can we step over it?
Around it. It's quite big. No, stepping over it. No, stepping around it. Either side. You could either go this side and not touch it, or this side and not touch it. But it is that you can see on screen. The flagstones are pretty big, right? So no, you can't step over. It's too big to step over. You could probably leap over it if you had to, but stepping over it, no.
Okay. Well, should we do that then?
Or do we want to step on it?
Nope.
It's not like it's a good trap with a symbol on it. If it's a trap, then wouldn't they put the side ones to walk around it as traps?
Well, so maybe if we go the other side of the door, if everyone wants to step on it, maybe let's go past it before you do that.
Cool.
That makes sense, just in case it drops up. Oh, actually, cursory look up above the stone and the door well. Is there any kind of slit or grate?
Can't see anything, no.
And what about on the walls? Appropriate arrow-sized holes.
Nope. Can't see anything.
We're quite suspicious, aren't we? It's almost like we've been bedeviled by things that go stab in the night.
Yeah.
All right, should we just move on past them?
Yeah, avoiding
Right.
the flagstone.
Yeah, it's very easy to avoid. No maneuver rolls required. You bypass it, and you're in the corridor. And again, you're looking at 60 foot up. So the stairs go up a bit more sharply this time. And yes, you go up. The stairs go up. Do you go up them? Does anybody do anything with the flagstone? I need to know about.
I reckon leave alone. But up to you guys. I think Tenya will be checking the way again as we go, just looking out, especially the first steps and stuff like that.
Okay. Anybody else doing anything as you go up the stairs? Okay.
Other than basically keeping an eye out for bad things.
You were talking about standing on the stone. I just wanted to double check that. Yes, no.
Good try, Jen. Good try.
Okay. You hit up, and as you go up, a couple of things. Firstly, I'm going to call them the angry sounds fade, and it's just the sounds of this complex. That's the first thing. The second thing is this queasy, unpleasant, kind of almost headachy, feverish kind of feeling in both, to a lesser extent, Askell's head, but definitely in Tanya and Yotto's head increases. Pulsing headache, just feeling out of sorts, just not feeling good in this. Yes, the taste of almost like copper, metal, like someone's got several shiny pieces of copper and put them under your tongue, has intensified.
So Tanya will vocalize this and ask if anyone... Did we make any decisions about why taste of metal?
No. Yotto and Asker will confirm it's happening for them too.
Why you three?
Did we fail our thing as we came through, or are we the ones are we the ones that have got tattoos?
No, because Yotto wasn't with us then.
No, Yotto doesn't have a tattoo.
Did we fail? Were we the illest when we came through the transporter?
No, Yotto came through the transporter successfully, and Yotto never received any hits from the wind thing. I mean, that's the other thing I wondered about, is this the wind thing done something to us?
What race?
I don't think we did that either.
What race is Yotto and Askell?
So Yotto is a grey elf.
Yeah,
Right.
Elven.
So Elven, right?
Because Severin,
okay.
Nicholas, and Jada are not.
Yeah, so it's the
Yeah,
Elven.
good.
Okay, good
Yeah.
call. Good call.
Yeah, good call.
All right. Okay. Well, should we keep going?
As you get to the top of the stairs, who's out in front, please?
We'll say Tanya, where was Severin behind?
Cool.
Right.
So
yeah, but she's checking. She knows.
Tanya, as you get to the front, you see some more figures.
Ah, damn. Ah,
In fact,
what the hell's that?
quite a few figures.
Ah,
That kind of figure.
winged creature.
Similar one that you saw before, and this creature as well. And you're at the top of a large room, and you can see inside that there are other figures in here. So you've come up these very lengthy. Whoops, slight glitch with my map.
Where'd you go?
You can see there, longer stairs, 60 foot up. So you've all come up these stairs. Let's just shake you guys, get you in a bunch. No, it's not going to work. Yes, it is. And as you come up, you are in you're standing on the foyer of a very large chamber, and there are these figures moving around. You see several of them there, and they're not static. They are moving. You see, for a start, the same one that you saw before, or a similar one you saw before. Some woman who looks like that, the harp, and curiously enough, every now and then there is the sound of music, harp music. And then there's another being that looks like that, and then something with wings that looks like that. So at the moment, Tanya is either on the very last step or one below, and the rest of you are spaced out below her. The figures are moving, so they're currently stationary, but at the moment they're moving. Sometimes they go up to each other, they seem to speak, converse with each other, and they just generally move around. They don't seem to be paying you any attention.
Tanya whispers, let's just see if we can get past them. Has anybody got any kind of immunity to sort of any sort of charm or anything like that? Or this is a bit hopeful, but I'm just wondering about spells generally amongst our party. No. Did she notice any door out of there?
You haven't stepped in. You're currently there, so you're seeing that. And what I showed you with some of the other figures is them moving around in front of your field of view. You're currently standing there. You haven't moved in. And from what you can see there, you can see that a couple of pillars, and yeah, that's the extent of what you can see.
Should we just try walking past them, saying we come in peace without looking threatening?
Yep.
What do you reckon?
Yep.
All right. Well, not shouty, just kind of in as many languages as we know, we come in peace. Yeah, walk around, give all the creatures a wide berth. Don't turn your back on. Well, as we walk past them, we won't turn the back on them. Sort of those that are closest, maybe swivel around to face and then walk backwards. Does that make sense? So that as the party walks, we won't be in single file. Presumably, we'll be in double. If we can be, then try not to put our backs. And I know there's a lot of creatures, but the nearest ones, just making sure that we don't actually put our back to them. But don't do anything aggressive. I tend to suggest the party and just see if we can make it across the other side of the room without being turned into a newt.
Okay.
I think it sounds like a plan.
So the characters move through, move through into this room, and I get the fact how you're moving and avoiding and all the rest. This is what you see. You now have quite a bit of light with you, by the way. There are 4 characters with torches or lanterns. And you're in a space that looks like this. It's relatively large, relatively spacious. Some 100 foot wide. It's 170 foot long. Pillars. 5 pillars in total, you can see there. And a mixture of these different figures. There's some boxes and crates mouldering, and quite large boxes dotted around. And there are a selection of beings. They're moving. They're constantly moving. Sometimes chatting with each other. Sometimes flying. In some cases. They're not static as they are on screen. They seem to pay you utterly no mind.
Exits?
Yeah, this one.
Do we want to check out the boxes?
Nah, I reckon keep going. Or at least, at the moment, anyway. I mean, maybe.
I like the synchronized swimmers in the sky.
Yeah, they're nice, aren't they? Should we just see if we can get to the exit before we plan anything else? So, okay, and Chris, we'll do the same thing, but leaving the room. So whispering, we come in peace. We come in peace.
Is anybody doing anything other than that? Yotto, Nicholas, Tanya, Askell, saying, doing anything else I should be aware of? Oh, okay. So you're making your way towards this doorway over here. There are more of these creatures here, and these ones are flying and moving around. There are some quite large. Some of these winged things. They're flapping their wings a bit. And I would like everybody please to make an easy maneuver roll. It's all or nothing. To avoid being touched by or walking into one of these creatures or wings. Pretty easy, you're trying to thread your way through them, but these things are also moving in quite an erratic fashion. They have paid utterly no attention to you. None. They don't seem to acknowledge your presence. They're moving, and you can see there are some that are flying there, some are flapping their wings. There are several that are plucking on harps and moving around the chamber and conversing. They seem to be quite relaxed. They're smiling and talking. The mood and the demeanor of these creatures seems to be calm, pleasant. But I'd like everybody, please, to make an easy, based on your agility or your moving and armor skill, to move your way safely to the entranceway here without either touching or coming into contact with one of these. So we'll start off with on my screen, Pete. Pete, the 2 characters that you're playing, please.
Nicholas rolled a 44, and his agility is plus 14.
Cool. Nicholas, you've got a 90% chance of not bumping into one of these things or whatever.
He rolled a 47.
Yep, you're fine. And Jada?
Oh man, she rolled a 98.
Roll again.
Followed by 17.
Cool. And what's her agility?
Plus 18.
120. Jadar is graceful and extremely precise in her movements, and she is absolutely fine. One thing to notice, by the way, some of these beings, as you're walking through, are going through the pillars and are going through the walls. And some go through the floor and then reappear again. Quite odd. Next on my screen are the two characters that Giles, you're playing.
So Yotto is exactly 100.
Total hundreds. Absolutely fine, Yotto. No issue for you at all. And Askell?
And Askell rolled 78, but I can't find moving an armor. I don't know where it is.
He wears rigid leather is the skill.
Correct. Oh, I don't know what that means. I don't know how to give you a number.
You can't see the skill that he has? Or rigid
leather? Oh, I see. So it's just his rigid leather skill.
Yes.
That's 4.
Yes, that's right. Cool.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I've done it.
82. Yeah, that's absolutely fine for Askell as well. And then the final two characters, Severin and Tanya.
Severin 39.
Yep.
Minus 10. No, was it? Hang on.
Minus 10, I think.
Yeah, minus 10.
It's a 70% chance, Severin. 70 or under, and you're fine.
34.
Yep, you're all good. And then Tanya?
Tanya was 13.
That's not great. Plus.
That's not great. Hang on.
Her moving in leather armor.
It's good. Sorry. Bear with. Soft leather armor plus 22.
Total of 35. You have as with Severin, a 70%, 70 or under, and you're fine.
2. How's that?
That's great. So
all
6 of the party move through this chamber, these strange beings, and move out into this corridor. What do you do?
Keep going, searching again for mechanisms.
Mm-hmm.
And have a little peek. Tanya, when we get to the corner, Tanya would just have a little kind of hold the torch out, and then have a quick peek and put her head back to see what she can see.
Sure thing. Give me a roll for traps for a start, and then the perception, please.
74 for traps. Plus, that was plus 57.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And then, and then perception 75 plus 85.
Okay. Again, she doesn't notice anything untowards in the floor and the ceiling and where you're standing. She peers around the corner. Oops. Oh, hang on. I didn't push the right button. Here we go. And you're faced with another long corridor. It is finding it a little bit hard to concentrate with this kind of buzzing and unpleasantness in her head. But yeah, a very long corridor, and one key thing. Just take. There we go. Just take that vision off screen for a second. You definitely see something. In fact, you all see something.
Something good?
You tell me.
I'm thinking not.
You guys are such pessimists. You really are. Like it's quite sad how how untrusting and traumatized you are.
I expect the Lords of Arcana are just totally nice to people who invade their presence, right? Of course they want us to come and take their stuff. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So Tanya, you all see daylight.
Daylight.
Woo!
Yeah. So I will.
The bad daylight. The terrible and mean bad
Daylight.
Nah, nasty daylight. Nasty. You guys see?
Roll resistance against daylight.
Yeah, exactly. Here we go. Yeah, there we go. So coming back. So you've just come out of this room here, and I'll just fade off the harps a bit. And turning down the corridor, you can see at the very far ends all see a massive slab of rock and thin, weak daylight. Overcast, misty, unpleasant.
Oh.
And there's also a...
You ruined it, didn't you? You have to ruin it.
Yeah, I did have to ruin it, didn't I? You also see down here... Oops. Oh, wait, there we go. Down this corridor, to one side, a doorway here.
Is that just a...
A very,
Sorry.
very, 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 very long corridor.
So there's a doorway up on the left. And, sorry, the shadow that's being cast down on the wall, is that just from the beam above? There's no, like, slot there, right?
I don't know what you mean.
So there's a shadow being cast from the upper blocks. That's just a flat wall below it, is it?
Yes. Yep, there is nothing down here other than a doorway to the left there, and then a doorway going what appears to be outside here.
I suggest that we... Tanya sort of noted that a lot of the kind of entrances that we've come across have been booby-trapped. Well, certainly you can think of the one that we exited via. So she'd like to take her time before going down here, and maybe suggest that someone else, as well as her doing her perceiving and detect traps, is someone with a high perception. If no one else does detect traps, that's fine. Severin will put his hand up. He's got an 80 perception, if no one else. But I think we would just want to really take our time going down here.
Agreed, and good idea.
Is that all right?
Yep,
And
Nicholas,
maybe,
Nicholas and Jada don't have detect traps and have got perception lower than Severin, so I think you should do it.
Okay. Yoto, do you think you could keep an eye on our friends at the back? Just make sure they
Yep, seems sensible. He'll go stand at the edge. Oh, dash you out.
Oh, I wouldn't put your weapon out, but yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Anyway, just keep an eye on them, just in case they've tried to follow us. That's all.
Okay.
So
Can I ask Chris? Sorry, Graham. But Astle has a one of these sort of inbuilt skills that I've never ever heard Anthony use. But sounds like it would be super helpful. It's this thing called visions. So if he touches something, he gets a spontaneous glimpse of the events associated with a person, item, or place. So could Astle put his hand like on the floor and see if he sees, some baddie jump out? The thing, is that how this works?
Yeah, look, so that's a background option, and Nicholas has the same thing too. And Nicholas does this from time to time. I tend to use it quite sparingly because I think it's quite a, and perhaps with benefit of hindsight, I think it's perhaps a bit of an overused, or can be an overused device. But yeah, he can try. He can put his hand down and
Okay, he'll give this a go.
yeah,
Actually,
sure.
put his hand on the ground and use his vision skill. He never uses it. So.
Okay, Pete, have you got the
I'm
description?
not looking into the room, looking out the corridor.
Pete, have you got the description there, please, from the back?
I think the same as what Giles has just read. I think PC receives spontaneous glimpses of events associated with a place, person, item, etc. that he touches. And I've got the notes that we sort of set up for when Nicholas got that. And I've put maybe triggered by touching habit, because Nicholas sort of just touches stuff.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Player can ask if visions come on request, which is what Giles is doing. GM's discretion, of course. If you say, yeah, we can see if there's a vision, an intuition check can be made. If successful, a lower roll would yield more information. So you can just simply say, no, nothing happens. Or if you decide, can give you a bit of information, we roll an intuition check, and if we roll low, we get more information.
There you go. Thank you. That was our elegant solution. So the thing is, on reflection, of course, Pete initially rolled it, and I kind of hand waved it and said, "Yep, that's fine." And then Askell happened to roll exactly the same thing, it's got to. I think it's got to be used sparingly. And Pete, you have used it sparingly. Askell, give me a roll. Give me an intuition check, please. It'll be a master one.
Okay, so the roll is 31.
31. It could be amazing. Okay. And there's no bonus on the. Oh no, there is. There's your intuition. What's your intuition?
So it's a whopping 2.
Yeah. You don't. Nothing leaps out at you. And of course, Nicholas, we haven't done this with you, but you are entitled, as we roll up the character and as we decide to do the same thing. I think again, I don't want it to become every single object, every single thing, every single time you touch something. But you're welcome to try as well at some stage. But no, nothing from your turn.
Oh, yep. If Nicholas will now, just because we're talking about it, but yeah. I think I prefer to use it when it's we're a bit stumped with other information. But if he could too as well, as we're doing this now,
Sure.
that'd be cool. He rolled a 63.
Okay. And his intuition is.
Oh, a whopping -3.
Oh. No particular insights from either character.
Thank you.
It's kind of like a backup thing, I guess, right? You try other forms of investigation, and at the very last time, I would give those two characters a chance to say, hey, I touch this or I investigate this, and maybe you get lucky. No other character can do it, just those two.
And you can, of course, give us visions whenever you want.
Which I do.
You do. True.
All right, what happens?
So yeah, really cautious, I think, down here, and lots of light, please. And Tanya will be checking for traps along the floor and the walls. Severin's going to be perceiving the living daylights out of the passage to the daylights, and then just making our way very slowly down there, just being really cautious. Until we get to the door.
So
there's a harpist in there, I think.
No, that's behind you. These are these guys. Okay. Can I please get a detect traps roll to begin with?
76 plus 59, 7.
Okay. Certainly up until this doorway down here, Tanya's pretty confident. She checks out this length of passageway. She's pretty convinced there's nothing there. Severin, can you give me a perception roll, please?
18 plus 80.
No, nothing for you either, Severin.
Okay. Can we? What do we see at this door?
Sure.
That was a doorway, is it?
Doorway. To dispense with the harps because you're moving away.
I think she would at this point start to creep. If it's a doorway, not a door. If that makes sense.
Yep, sure. Give me a stop roll.
And she'll signal to the others just to stop moving for a bit.
Okay.
85 plus
Unmasked.
unmasked. Brilliant. Love it. Love an unmasked. Plus 159.
It's an easy stop roll. There's kind of dirt and dust and stuff in here, but that kind of almost muffles her footfall. She thinks she's utterly silent as she creeps up to the corner here.
Oh, of course, I'm holding a torch anyway. But anyway, whatever. Okay. Has a little peek around the corner and then back again.
Very large room. Empty, from what you can see, other than something.
Something. She moves quickly to the other side of the doorway without lingering in the entrance, and then pokes and then sort of just has a look from that angle.
Yep. That's what she sees. Just a large, very large, empty room.
And then waves the others on.
Do the others follow?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Do we ever? We still don't have a clear sense of having got completely outside yet, right?
We're just the best. Let's check it out. Shall we just see if we can?
Cool.
What we're running out to? It might be another cliff or something.
So you'll bypass this door?
Yeah. Have a little peek. Yeah. I mean, Tanya's looking intently for anything that might move while they.
Whoops.
Up to anyone else if they want to have a look in, but
No, just an error with my map. Where do people stay, not stay? What do you do regarding this room?
I think the principle here, correct me if I'm wrong, Graham and Pete, is to try and make sure we've got an escape route, and then we might come back and check this room out a bit more. I don't think
that's wise. Yep.
Okay. Just
So I don't think anyone moves past the room until you've checked for traps for the rest of the corridor.
So she'll continue on her way, checking for traps with Severin, doing a backup.
Okay. Hang on. That's annoying. Damn it. Okay, you're in the corridor. GM's just going to head out, get another drink. Back in a second.
I
reckon we're in a...
Just have a little peek out and then see where we are. And then, so if we think we can run out,
come back, check this room out, and then
check this one out, and then maybe have a thought. I mean, it's seems likely if we start rooting through those boxes that those creatures might get a little peeved.
Well,
but we don't know. But then again, they are, semi-transparent and going through walls, so who knows? They may not be there. I mean, we didn't try a what's it to see if they were actually there or not, did we?
Illusion spell, no.
Or
might be worth doing.
Or presence.
Presence, yeah.
Yeah. Well, we can come back and do that maybe. But I think, just establish what's outside first, because that's probably the next adventure.
Yeah. But I know what you mean. It does. Do you think we've established? We seem to have explored this complex, although
I think so.
Was that regenerate?
We've gained absolutely nothing from it though, which is sort of weird.
Well,
we jumped here.
We got a horn
and found nothing.
Got a horn.
Right. So we've got something to nick our IPAs out of.
But also the purpose of it was to get us here. We're not. It's the place that we've come to this place for.
Although it would be a great place to locate some shiny items, I admit.
Would be convenient, wouldn't it? And dresses.
What was that charging station? Where was that? we saw any light?
There's no charging station that we saw. We thought
No,
we
but
saw.
there is one on the map. You're absolutely right.
No,
We have not found.
that swirly light is the creature.
Interesting.
When we first saw it, we
Been
thought it
an
was
hour.
charging station light, but it was actually just the animation.
Oh,
of the
yeah,
creature.
I think you're right.
Pretty sure.
All right. One thing I meant to say and didn't was, firstly, you've all been getting quite a lot colder getting up here.
Yeah.
And that's the first thing. Second thing is Askell, to a lesser extent, but certainly Tanya and Yotto are all feeling the effects of this metallic kind of taste, this general feeling of malaise, just feeling out of sorts, not good. The closer you're getting as you've come up these stairs, and certainly turning the corner and seeing daylight. Absolutely. What do you do?
Well, I think we'd like to continue to the end. Continue to be really cautious.
Mm-hmm.
And if it starts to get really cold, then wouldn't put our woolens on.
I'm assuming you've been wearing.
Oh, we've got those on already. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you upped our armor class.
Oh yeah. Okay.
No, I
Yeah.
didn't, but I meant to. Pete. Yeah, I haven't quite figured out exactly how to do that yet.
All right. Sorry, but you'd said that what was going up to level 2, didn't you? I think.
Oh, did I? Yes, but I may not have done it.
Yes. Yep.
Okay. So you're perceiving traps up from here, Tanya? Is that right?
Yeah, being really cautious. Severin in sort of back a bit, but doing the same. Just being really cautious. And if everything looks a bit wobbly, kind of hitting the flagstones in front.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, she might just do that anyway. Who's got a long weapon? Oh, you've got let's get the haberdashery out. That must be quite long.
You mean your Dashi?
Yeah, I mean, look, yeah, the haberdashery is quite long.
We can use Jada's staff.
Oh, Jada's stuff.
Yeah, Jada's staff is longer. Yeah.
All right, can Jada come up and click the flagstones in front of us? I'm just being really paranoid here, but it just seems.
Say you wanted to borrow her staff? Yeah, sure.
Sure, whatever. Okay, so Tanya will take the staff, and we'll search for traps, but these flagstones are quite big. So before she steps on one, she'll check it first.
Yep.
And then she'll just use the staff to depress it and stand back. She's just being super cautious. I don't know why I'm feeling so paranoid, but I am.
Sure. Okay. So give me a roll, please.
92 plus 59.
Okay. And
then Severin.
And this is detecting traps specifically for Severin? Is that right?
Well, perception, he hasn't got detect traps.
Okay, so half that for detect traps.
Okay.
Yep. Give me a roll.
41.
Yep.
And his perception is 80.
So plus 40. Tanya, so you cautiously, as described, move all the way up, and you are being very, very cautious. You don't pick up anything untoward. You get to here, and several things to note. Firstly, it's a lot colder, and I'll describe the cold a bit more, but it's definitely pretty chilly where you are at. That's the first thing. The second thing is you're looking out over a very, very wide expanse. You can see in the distance and it is some way, at least quarter of a mile, if not more than a mile, half a mile away, a massive slab of rock, and there's what appears to be white, and you're assuming it's snow, certainly something that's coming down outside. And you think you can hear the wind perhaps, but you're not quite sure. It's the first thing. The second thing is that you see on the floor in front of you, the sides of this passageway, and then on the ceiling, this now somewhat familiar yellow metal that you've come across several times previously. Quite a wide band. It would be something like that wide, and it's covered in runes and symbols. And then on a piece of metal embossed into the floor is writing, or runes. You're not quite sure what. So runes or devices or something embody this yellow thing, which covers both, as you can see on screen, the floor, the sides, but not the ceiling, but the ceiling. And then there is some kind of script or writing here.
Spectacles.
And then some 30 foot on is this gap where the tunnel abruptly ends.
So it looks like it just drops off, does it?
Yes.
What about the spectacles, Nicholas?
Sure thing. I believe they're attuned to Askell at the moment. I think. To read Arcana, because he was studying some of the lists on the slates, I think.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
Bring forth Askell.
Well, I think we can all bring ourselves forth a bit closer, do you think?
Well, I think we'll all come up, and I guess Askell would be happy to take a look and see if he can read the runes.
But it's, Tanya would obviously point out, don't step on anything.
Okay, so Askell will climb onto Tanya's back and get piggybacked up to them. And,
So come up here. I mean, reasonably wise. Askell, sure. Looking at the slab of metal in front of you, you see the following. This is the script coming into Yotto's channel now for Askell. Coming. The other devices, the other symbols, as part of the metal, the yellow metal, you have no idea, Askell. You don't know what it says or what they are.
okay, so Askell will turn back to the party and say the bit that I can read, and Arcana states, "The last ward friend. Step through and you are welcome." And asks if anyone knows what that means.
And which way is it oriented?
The text.
So which? Sorry.
The text
Good
is
question.
The text is facing outward.
I would suggest that I think if you're a Lord of Arcana, being inside's better than being outside.
Last
But
ward.
I don't know.
Is there a comma in that sentence?
It just says the last ward friend hyphen, and then weirdly with a capital, step through and you are welcome.
Step through. Nicholas is keen to have a go at reading the runes on the yellow metal.
Sure.
So if Askel's communicated that he can't read them, it seems like they are runes, like magical runes, rather than
Okay. Yeah, give me a roll.
34.
What's your skill, please?
56.
Unfamiliar to you, Nicholas. You don't know.
I should have noted, Chris, that Eskel has a read rune skill, but when he was looking, I suppose he would have applied that skill as he looked. He's just not my character, I hadn't noticed.
Yeah, give me a roll. Yep, happy for you to roll for Askel if you'd like.
I will just give me 1 sec. Get to the right channel. 38. And his skill is 29.
Askel's scattering his head too. He just doesn't know. No idea. Unfamiliar.
So, sorry, just to confirm, so they're oriented for those entering this complex, and the last protection.
You're reading them upside down.
Yes. So this is the last protection.
Last ward, friend.
Yes, which ward I would take in this instance to be some form of guardian protection. The last ward. What was the first one then? Yeah. Okay. I mean, it could be just protection. How cold are we, Chris?
Cold, not freezing, but definitely cold, chilly.
Yeah, I mean,
cool.
Yeah. I mean, Severin is from the north.
Yep.
Presumably, may have seen snow before.
Yep.
Would he say that, in his estimation, that actually it was warmer than he would imagine it would be if he was standing on a mountaintop in the snow and howling wind? I mean, it's a difficult thing to answer, but I mean, gut.
Give me an intuition check, Master.
16, and his intuition is plus 15.
I mean, really hard to know. But if there's snow outside, flurries of snow that he can see, and he can see little flecks of it here, he would expect probably to be colder than he is now.
Yeah.
Then again, for the last goodness knows how long, Severin has spent a lot of time in warmer climes. He spent some time in Jebai Rima and Jebai Ritana, and then the Katana Sea, and the horrible, fetid, sweltering city of Landana. And then even Rasgaret was kind of temperate, but it never got cold. So maybe he's out of, maybe his body's kind of out of sync and has forgotten. But his gut reaction is he should be colder.
That's a good question. Good thinking. Jada would like to have a go at reading the runes as well, please.
Yeah, sure.
Just whilst thinking of that. 4.
Be amazing. Plus
28.
Okay. Again, nothing that Jada recognizes.
Can I just check the read rune skill is we don't have to. Yeah, it's a bit like attunement. It's like deciphering, and you can get a vibe from it. Yeah, cool. Yeah. I don't think there's much else to do apart from step over, is there?
Guess not.
I guess.
It probably shouldn't be one of the elves, right? It should probably be someone else.
All right, Severin will step over.
Yeah, just hang on. Can I just double check before this yellow stuff? This yellow What did we decide it did?
Well,
did
we
we
walked
see it
through it before. We walked through it before in the other complex, didn't we? And
Yeah.
not much happened.
Feel like it cancels magic, right?
Okay.
Maybe that's why the spells didn't work in the room with the floaty people.
But we've done spells since.
Oh yeah, that's true.
But I thought that's what. Yeah. Anyway, cool. Thank you.
What happens?
All right. There's nothing else to do really. I think that plate. That's just where the writing is, right?
Correct. The writing is on this metal band set into the floor.
Can you step over that?
It's pretty wide. The letters are pretty large. You'd have to step over it. No. Jump over it. Yes.
All right. He'll jump. Well, maybe Tanya's better doing this then.
But there's a very narrow gap that you've got to land on the other side before the yellow metal, if that's of any significance.
Yeah, Severin's not very good at that. Who's got the best agility? Tanya's got. Would it be agility or moving in armor or jumping?
So if you don't wear armor, it's agility. If you do wear armor, it's a moving and armor skill.
Okay. Yosso's 13.
And Tanya is 22. Anyone better than that?
Nope.
All right, Tanya will do that then.
Okay. So Tanya's plan is to jump over this metal plate, land in that gap in between the yellow metal. Is that right?
Yeah, she'll look at the gap first just to check sure there's nothing odd about the gap.
Nope, she's pretty sure it's pretty clear. So I would consider this the metal inlaid in the floor is not massive. I would say this is a light maneuver. It's going to be an all or nothing. So if you fail this, your foot goes either one way or the other. If you succeed, then you're good. Give me a roll, please.
13.
Not a great roll. Plus,
not brilliant. No.
What's her moving and armor skill?
Plus 22.
Okay. That is a total of 60% chance. 60 or under, and she's good.
$16.
16, she's good. So Tanya, you leap across this quite wide band of metal. You place your feet happily in between, exactly there. You're not standing on either the gold material or the metal inlaid in the ground. What do you do?
So do I feel any different?
You're colder as you were before, but nothing different. No.
Okay, then she would do the same over the next bit.
Okay. So you're going to try to leap over?
Yeah.
Okay. That would be I would say that's actually slightly slimmer. So I would say to leap over it without touching it'll be an easy maneuver. Can you give me an easy maneuver roll, please?
Before she does that, she just wants to take maybe Jada's staff, if she doesn't mind, and just depress the flagstone on which she is going to jump onto.
Yep, does so. Nothing.
Okay, then she'll leap over.
Okay, give me an easy maneuver roll, please.
69.
Okay. Plus
22. Did I say 22?
Yep.
Did I just make that up?
Yep.
That's possible.
Okay. So, physically, she makes the roll without any issue. However, as she leaps, there is this noise in her head, and I'd like Tanya, please, you to make a resistance roll. Now, versus, if you remember Arcana, if you remember what that was all of your 3
Yeah.
Magical stats divided by 3.
Yep. Okay.
Okay, give me a roll, please.
So it's +3.
Okay. What level is she?
9.
Okay.
Oh, is she? Yeah.
Give me a roll.
52 +3, 55.
Okay, great. So, Tanya, several things happen for you. The very first is you push your way through what feels like elastic space. There's something in front of you, something directly in front of you that is feels like you're pushing through air that is resistant or unwilling to make you or to allow you to go through, but you succeed. You successfully leap across, so you haven't touched any of the yellow metal. And how best to describe this? Several things. So firstly, suddenly you're a lot colder. A lot colder. That's the first thing that happens. The second thing that happens is the following. Will be when the GM finds it. Coming into your channel in a second. Tanya. Yeah, definitely a lot colder, and that sensation is really quite unpleasant for you. Like massively increased, dramatically increased as you passed over that barrier.
Okay.
Hang on. The other thing that you note a little bit closer is, from what you can detect, it's hard to figure out exactly, but you think there is definitely a drop directly in front of you from what you can make out. Like quite a drop. You don't know because you haven't got quite far enough yet, but you think you're high up, and there is snow, and you are definitely seeing snow coming past, and it's cold. Not utterly Arctic, but you're definitely a lot colder than you were before. What do you do? What do you or anybody else do?
She'd like to take. She'll explain the sensation that she said she's much colder. This is obviously some sort of warmth. Felt like I was passing through something. This elven sensation I've got, the buzzing in the head is dramatically. Yeah, I've got this metallic taste. It's really dramatic now, and it's really going to slow me down a bit. She'd like to take the rope from her satchel.
Yep.
And tie it around her waist.
Mm-hmm.
And lob the rope back to her compatriots.
Yep.
And Severin guessed what she's, So
amazing.
Well, I mean, it seems likely she would want her. He said, all right. She says, can you pick it up, a few of you, and maybe 3 of you, wrap it around you. So I'm just going to approach the edge and take a look. But can you please, or take the strain in case I fall or something like that.
Okay.
And will.
Great. Any action? So while Tanya is doing that, any actions from anybody else? Saying anything, doing anything? Nope. Okay. So Tanya, do you have a rope mastery, by the way?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Could you just give me a general roll? on that. Tying a rope. See how well you do. It's pretty easy, not?
57.
Cool. Okay, cool, great. Okay, she's knotted it around her waist. She throws the rope back to her. The distance you're talking about from the edge to Severin is 45 foot, so there's ample rope. And others, a whole bunch of people, several of your companions grab the rope. And what does she do?
So she'd like to edge herself forward. Where she gets to the next flagstone, she's searching for traps again, and she's going to reach out and depress the flagstone in front in case it falls away. Otherwise, detecting traps, perceiving the walls, all the rest of it, and edge herself forward. As she gets close to the edge, assuming she doesn't find anything weird or there's no ice on the surface, she's going to sort of get down on all fours, I think, just to make sure that she doesn't, so she's being really cautious and edging away, checking all the time.
Okay, sure. So I'm going to ask for a detect traps roll and a perception roll. Give me a roll, please. Give me first roll.
2.
So it could be amazing, remember? Could be
Yep.
great. Yep.
I remember.
And what's your detect trap? 57, I think?
Detect traps was plus 57, yes, and she's for perception.
Yep. And roll for perception, please.
71 plus 85.
Okay. So she doesn't detect anything untoward. She's tapping the ground in front of her. She feels reasonably confident to say that there's nothing about the flagstones between where she is and the area she's looking at that's suspicious. The distance, by the way, from there to there is short. It's 27, it's 28 feet. Getting close to the edge, yes, indeed, there is a little bit of ice in places formed around, and it's definitely cold outside. Definitely chilly. She gets down on all fours, the rope's attached to her, and she does what, please?
So Severin will keep her on a short leash. Bark, baby.
Yep.
Just very cautiously edges forward just to see what she can see.
Okay, great. And I'd like one more perception roll, and I'm gonna, depending on how Tanya rolls, I'm gonna tell everybody what Tanya sees, and then I'm gonna, and rather than take Tanya out of the room, I'm gonna tell you what Tanya sees, and then depending on what you guys do, this is what you may or may not see as well, depending on what your decision is. Give me a perception roll, please.
26 plus 85.
Okay. So, Tanya, you peer out, and you're very cautious. You're down on your hands and knees. You put your lantern or whatever down, and several things. So the first, and several images to describe what you see. Not that. The first is this. Now,
Is that Jesus?
You haven't come out of a triangular shaped entranceway. It's a lot, and the entranceway is a lot taller than that. It's at least 2 or 3 times, 4 times the size of a person. It's comparatively wide, and it goes a long way back, etc. And yes, you're not dressed like that. And yes, the rock is not. You can see on the image on the screen, it's kind of in slabs. It's not like that. It's just it's a sheer rock face, quite smooth. But I'm wanting to use that image as a depiction of how there is nothing around you and nothing below you. So it's chill up here, not quite freezing, but very, very cold. warm clothing, which you're all wearing, does protect everybody from a minus, except Askell. Askell, you would normally be at a negative 20, but Askell, you have worn warm clothing, and again, I'm conscious you're not on the other side, but I'm going to describe this to you. But you will be at a negative 10 from everything you do. You certainly wouldn't want to sleep out here in the wind. You could possibly freeze to death. At least you certainly wouldn't have a good night's sleep. You'd like certainly to be out of the wind if you could. You are up high. You are some 7, maybe 800 foot up on a sheer rock face. Immediately below you, at least for 300 or so feet, Tanya, is smooth rock, sheer stone. And it looks like a massive, and I should say, staring directly below you, some 700-800 foot down, is a jumble of rock. And with that perception roll, you can see mixed in with the rock what looks like small pieces, a long way down, very long way down, pieces of old worked stone. It feels like the passageway in front of you used to go on for some way, but it has collapsed and it has gone down. So you can see directly below you what you estimate are the remains of the massive chunk of rock that you're on. The terrain that you're in is, and I'll share some images in a second, is rock and stone, brown rock and stone, and it is barren, desolate, and inhospitable. Even from your vantage point, you can notice a number of caves and hollows and knocks out of the rock everywhere. Some appear to be no more than shallow indentations of the rock. Others appear to be somewhat deeper. Some seem small, no more than the size of a person's head, yet others are large enough for several people to stand abreast. There are, every now and then, Tanya, and not much, but every now and then there are a number of gnarled and twisted, broken, pathetic-looking trees and perhaps a few shrubs around. There's very, very, very little in the way of greenery, and the trees themselves look kind of blackened and brown and broken. All are looking tortured and sickly. There are quite a number peering out from what you can see, and on the grounds beneath you, there are quite a number of goldish, yellowish coloured rocks, or rather flecks in rocks that you can see. Very similar to the same colour of the bands that you've just leapt across on the ground. Ultimately, you are one side of a very wide valley, chasm. Well, valley is probably a better description. It would be half a mile wide, 3/4 of a mile wide, and it stretches off in different directions. You're up very, very high, and you can see a long way. You're actually at a very high point of the rock, and there are other parts of the valley are actually a bit lower either side of you. So whatever you're in is a massive chunk of rock, and then either side of you, the valley, this wide valley, spreads out in different directions. And right now, Tanya, I would like you, please, to make a channeling resistance roll. We've got some images coming up soon too.
$88.
88. Okay, that's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
What's your channeling?
-1. That's less good.
That's less good. Okay. Tanya, there is this blinding pain and shock through your head. In addition to that kind of strange, sickly feeling, that taste of metal in your mouth, and just generally unpleasantness. And just for a split second, Tanya, you hear the following in your head. And just for 1 second, when you turn to your right and you peer up the valley, you see blazoned in your memory and your mind, Tanya, the following image going into your chat right now. Just 1 second. Hang on.
Well, you could probably describe it and I'll remember it.
No. Thanks, Graham. Got it. Know what I'm doing.
I think I'm going to make a mental guess.
Yeah. That and a very familiar description. Do you need the description?
No, go on. Yeah, 2 mighty armies face off against each other. General doom and gloom. Yeah, I can't remember. Friends, something or other. Go on, give it. Okay, give it to me.
Just trying to find it. Why the hell?
And that noise, I've heard that before, haven't I?
You have, yeah.
Yeah.
Just a second. 1 second. There's so much to arrange beforehand, and I thought I had this prearranged. Hang on. Yeah, essentially, okay. It's not going to play ball, but yes, exactly that. Two armies facing off against each other. Previously, when you've seen this image, it's been a very long way away. Now, it's right here. You're right on top of it. You're in a cold place, and there's no land or sea between you and what you're seeing. You are right here. 2 armies face off against each other. There is going to be an awful battle, and many will die. You are perhaps here, or perhaps others you know, perhaps here. all of a sudden there is the sound of thunder, a great deal of mist, steam, and it has begun, and blood will flow. And to give you so that's what you sense. This is what you see. To give you a bit more of a flavour of sorry, one last thing to describe. Down one end of this very, very, very broad valley, and if you imagine you are up high, and I'll show you an image kind of sense of this, and the valley down one end widens and goes out towards a large, very far in the distance, Tanya, no perception roll needed, a very large stone circle. It's very, very far away, and it's huge. It's colossal. The other end, up the other end of the valley, and it's when you turn your head to the right, and it's in that direction when you get this vision or this sense and this thing that you've experienced previously. When you turn your heads to the right, the valley curves and swerves. You can see it because you're up high. You have a view over the entire vistage. But in the very far distance, there's activity up the very far end. There's people moving. You can't quite see what's going on, but you can just catch out beings, probably no smaller than ants, moving at the very far end. And yeah, there's something going on at the very far end, to the right way of the valley, the direction where you saw the vision. To give you a sense of the vibe of what you're seeing, this is not quite accurate in terms of how you're viewing things, but this is definitely the terrain that you're seeing. It's not covered in snow, but there is definitely snow settled in a few locations, and there's certainly snow in the air. And you're looking across this desolate, rocky valley. Now, this isn't quite right, but it's similar. If you imagine the other side, you're looking way down this valley as it opens up, and in the very far distance, because you're up very, very, very high, you can make out these rings of stone. They're a very long way away. In terms of what else you're seeing, these are some images that would be, they're probably not quite as bright as that, but that kind of thing. Again, something similar to this. To this. Further down. And yeah, this. Oops, no, this. And where is the image I really wanted to find? Yes, this is what I wanted. This is kind of where you are. You're out looking out of this massive slab of stone. You're looking. Imagine that this rock in the foreground isn't there. Imagine the valley continues down. You're looking across the way at the rock that you can see on screen. So here, you're looking across, and so it's a wide, quarter of a mile, maybe half a mile across, and then the valley stretches off in each direction. But you're up very, very high, and as described, around you there is this smooth stone for at least 300 foot, and then directly down below you, peering down, Tanya, over the edge, there's just this jumbled pile of rock and stone. And looking around you, it looks as though a huge slab, a huge massive chunk of stone, a very long time ago, has plummeted down. And the corridor that you're in, you would suspect, from what you can make out, ends quite abruptly. You think it probably actually went further. It went further on from where you are, but is now lost. There's probably the remains of it is down below you. To give you kind of a sense of what you're seeing, pardon the crudity of this, but if you imagine you are up here in one of these high points, looking across the valley, down one end is these kind of spirals of circle. They're miles and miles and miles away, many miles away. Closer, but also still some miles away, down this valley that twists and turns in this direction. And where you got the image of the flash there, the image that you saw just a second ago is some kind of movement, and there are tiny people further down in this direction. This valley kind of curves and moves. So part of the crudity image, but you're high up here, 700-800 foot up, looking down to the remains of this massive slab. Down this way to your left is these spirals of stone as the valley broadens out, and as the valley narrows in this direction and turns and twists a bit, there are people. So just a few more images to show you again. Kind of this, bit of this, bit of this, bit of this, this, and that's a good depiction of the kind of the height that you're up, and it would go straight down rather than this piece here. And then yeah, that image there to show you a bit more. Does that help?
It does. Yeah. So she can't see any form of structure from where she is.
Form of structure?
Well, like a building of some sort.
Give me how is she? Describe what she's doing, how she's looking, what she's looking with.
Looking with her elven eyes, and just scanning. Well, she wants to look at good look everywhere, really, but she's looking at the cliff face opposite. She's looking at what she can see below her. She's looking what she can see around the people, particularly far away. Can she see any kind of structure? And then looking towards the Star's Grave too, and giving everything a really good look in terms of anything that, a cave entrance that people are coming in and out of, something that looks like it might have been built rather than natural formation, etc.
Okay, sure thing. GM is going to get, yet again, one more drink, and it's non-alcoholic, just in case you're asking. Back in a second. I'll leave you there.
Hang on. I think Giles wants to...
Oh, yep, Giles, go.
I got a note from Giles that he needs to... Oh, okay, all right.
He needs to go? Yeah. Is Giles gone?
Looks like he's there, but muted. He comes.
Yes, no, sorry. So I do kind of need to go. I've got to be out here in about 8 minutes. How much longer do people want to play for? Because what I can do is listen on my phone for about another 20, but other people will have to roll and stuff for me.
Well, I mean, if it's convenient for you, should we just finish getting what Tony can see, and then call it then? Would that be convenient?
So, yep. I'm wanting to know if there's any other assistance that she'd get for her looking.
Well, she could get. Hang on. One moment, please.
With her own eyes, she can't see anything further. Put it that way.
She will go back from the lip, and she will get her spyglass out.
Ah, okay. Yep.
Which obviously enables her to see further, and
yes.
Also adds another 25 to perception.
Yes, please. Give me a roll.
52.
52. Great. Nice. Plus?
Plus, well, she's got a perception of 85.
Pete, you want to say something? Pete, you want to say something? No. Plus 85. Great. Okay.
And another 25 for the spyglass.
So that's what you needed, and so yes, that has helped immeasurably. So down this direction, and Giles, wrapping up very, very soon. But if you need to go, no more dice rolls. I think we'll probably call it there. But to describe a bit more, looking down in the direction where she got this jolt, this vision, and these strange noises in her head, she sees, using the spyglass, a lot more movement. She sees quite a number of people, many hundreds of people, in fact. She sees tents. She sees beasts of burden, horses, oxen. She can't quite make it out, but some kind of tall structure. And that's happening very far away, several miles away, down this direction of the canyon, valley, whatever. Looking in this direction, nothing. Down here, towards these strange rock circles, and nothing around her. Looking across the valley, etc., she can't see anything other than as described, these strange chunks of rock and the kind of yellowish chunks of rock, and well, chunks of rock with yellow in it is probably a better description, and the multiple numbers of either crevices or caves or hollows, as described. From your vantage points, you notice a lot of caves and hollows in the rock everywhere. Some appear to be no more than shallow indentations in the rock, other appear to be somewhat deeper. Some you see small, no more than a person's head, and others are large enough for several people to enter abreast. Using the spyglass and looking into some of these, some appear to stop quite short. Some appear to go quite deep into the rock, and there are lots of them. Many, many, many. As I say, some are kind of, yay big, some are huge. And there are these boulders and rock, which look slightly different coloured as well, and they're just strewn right throughout this valley. And they are flecked and kind of interlaced with this golden coloured stone. In fact, Tanya, could you give me a perception roll, please? No, could you give me a memory roll, please? Mast.
24. Memory +5.
Roll again, please.
'85.
Okay, no, nothing more for you there, Charlie.
And if we were to go straight down, as you said, it's 300 feet.
No, 700 feet.
700 feet, right? Okay.
And actually, just going to pause there for a second because the GM does need to nip out for a sec. Giles, are you needing to head away? Is that it for you for the game? Do you want to listen in?
So I'm going to be completely offline for about 5 minutes. Then when I'm in the car, I'll tune back in.
Okay, great. So that'll take me long enough to head away for a second. Be back in a sec, guys. Pete and Graham, you want to play on for another, say, 10, 15, something like that? 15?
Yep. Sure thing.
Yep.
Sure.
Cool.
Yep. Good job on the spyglassing.
I've had that for ages, actually. I've never used it.
This moment.
Yeah, exactly. So I feel like we probably ought to have a work out how we're going to get down.
Yep.
Which presumably is going to be spells.
Yep.
But then I think we need to go back and look, just really ransack the temple a bit more. Ransack the structure.
Well, do we not do that before we go down?
Oh yeah, just what I mean is have a means of working out how we're going to get down in case we
Right.
need to get down in a bit of a hurry.
Well, we have to get through the yellow thing in a hurry.
Yeah, exactly. So that could mean vomiting, of course.
It could. Jada can only cast Fly on herself. Nicholas has got 20. 4 power points, he can cast fly. So he can cast fly 4 times.
Cool. And then I think probably the first thing to do is find a cave, right?
Yeah.
And then work out. I guess we have to think in the meantime what we want to do, and how we intend to infiltrate such a large amount of people.
Well, the other thing is, do we want to fly up? Would it be better to travel on the top of the cliffs? It seems like the valley is quite wide open. It's quite pock marked, but the chances of being seen.
Yeah. Although, we'd be mindful we'd be more easily be seen on a horizon, but true.
But yes, exactly. Yeah, true. But if we can travel below the horizon,
yes.
That depends. I have a feeling perhaps not, because I think it's going to be undulating and it's not all cliff tops. It's yeah. I think that's something to check though, because if we can travel along the cliffs out of sight, that's up on the cliffs but below sight.
Yeah,
that's preferable. But I have could you ask, or we could ask?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the only thing to consider there is exposure, of course. But yeah,
true. I mean, and our other option is Nicholas. His full power points and stuff. But I'll just check Jada. Is invisibility is 4 power points. So for our approach.
Yeah. I mean, we've got a while to think about that, I guess, but.
Yeah, and Jada can cast invisibility ability on others, which is 6 power points for her. So we can all become invisible. So so valley floor is. Yeah.
Good. Okay. Hi.
If spells work.
Hopefully. Okay. So Tenny would just like to have a look at the tops of the cliffs as well.
Mm-hmm.
Do they look like they could be traversed if you were up there?
Not easily. Possibly, but those in places you have relatively unimpeded flat places that you can travel, but then suddenly you're confronted by huge spires and chunks of rock. It's pretty uneven, so you travel for some way unimpeded, but then finds obstructions. So not easily would be the answer.
Okay.
Yep. So.
Yeah. So all right. Well, okay. And then downwards for 700 feet, there's a valley floor.
Directly beneath you is a huge pile of rock and rubble. Looks like it's where the hillsides come down, but yes, the valley floor. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And in her estimation, what's come away? Obviously, how far is the other side of the valley? It's a long way, right? A couple of miles or so.
Quarter of a mile, half a mile. Yeah.
So by her estimation, look at the rubble. The path probably would have led down rather than across.
What path?
The path that's fallen away. The rest of the passage.
Oh, yes. The passage would have fallen away. Yes.
Okay.
So, but we're assuming that the bit that's fallen away might have had an exit with a pathway going down.
Yes.
We're assuming, rather than there's not enough rubble to have spanned the whole valley.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at.
Yeah. But we can't possibly know what it was like. Maybe they all flew.
Probably went down. Right?
A huge chunk above, peering out, looking up, and one side, that side, and below you, a massive chunk of the hill has come down.
Right. Well, once she's satisfied she's seen everything she's going to see, she'll carefully edge back, crawl back, and explain to the group exactly what she's seen.
Yep.
So she can see the Star's Grave. She can see an encampment, hundreds of people, lots of caves, but it's 700 feet down. So we have to work out how we're going to get down. However, have we exhausted this nice warm thing we're in? Have we missed anything? Should we at least check the empty room. What time of day is it, Chris? Would we estimate?
Really hard to know. Really hard to know because looking at that's the, it's hard to see where the sun is. To be honest, it's grey. It's overcast. You don't know. It's hard to tell. Can't see the sun.
I mean, are we tired or how are we feeling?
You're feeling reasonably sprightly. You do notice, Tanya, that your fingernails are quite a bit longer. Like actually seeing them now. They're not like massive, they're not like claws, but they're,
Well, since when?
Since they've got longer actually since you first noticed when you first arrived here, you think.
Not through just passing through that gate.
You don't know? Maybe actually. Yeah, maybe.
Okay, she points that out and said, it's possible I'm on the other side of here that actually I've maybe moved in time again. Either that, the longer we spend it in this structure, time is moving. One or two. However, I think it would be wise to just, A, figure out how we're going to get down and how we might do that in a hurry, and B, maybe check the empty room out and just make sure there's nothing we've missed in that, and C, then give some thought as to whether we want to open those boxes and possibly disturb those creatures, being mindful that if we do, we might need to leave quicker than expected. What does the rest of the party think of that? We need a spokesman. Oh no, Pete, you'll do.
No, I agree. We all agree. I wonder if those who we could check the room out together. There's rifling through boxes. I wonder if we get a few people out and down, and then just have a couple of people to extract to do the checking. So if things go pear shaped, we don't have to do 100 people. Don't have to get all six of us down. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Of course, if they get in trouble, they're screwed. But yeah. But yes, I think it's probably wise. Assuming the creatures will actually cross the boundary, of course.
Absolutely, yeah. But Nicholas and Jadar can cast Fly, and I think Askell can as well. And well, maybe I'm just jumping the gun. It just might be, and Yotto might be just Tanya and Severin who can't fly themselves.
Yeah, definitely not.
But if the remaining 4 probably have got Fly, then I think it's safe to say that all 4 of them could stay, because it's just them getting themselves down, each one casting a flying spell.
Okay. Well, Tanya's inclined actually not to traverse this barrier again, given it was quite a painful thing to do. So she might just huddle up.
Yep.
The other side of the barrier as best she can. Put up a schnood, whatever she's got.
Got a blankie, and so right now I think the rest of the other 5 could go and check the empty room just to code and secret door and trap look.
Yeah.
Was that the idea?
I think so. I think that's a good idea. That first room we just passed, yeah.
Okay. So with the exception of Tanya, who stays out there, the other 5 members of the party come back. They, of course, cannot hear.
I think Severin will stay on the door so that he can see.
Saying cannot hear the sound of the wind.
Oh, okay.
So, yep. What are the...
Sorry, go on.
Yep. What's Severin doing, please?
Oh, Severin would just like to... He'll stay in the doorway so he can see Tanya and he can see people in the room. Oh, unless somebody else wants to do that, because he's got quite a good perception.
Nicholas will do that.
Okay.
Nicholas will be on guard-ish, looking up and all 3 ways, up the corridor, down the corridor, and into the room, please.
Okay.
And then I think I'd like to just give a really thorough search of the room.
Okay. So
only Severin will with quite a high perception, and I don't know who else would be next. Probably would that be Jada? All right, I'm thinking.
Yes. Yep. I think she was about 63.
Okay. Can I have for 2 each perception rolls. So, firstly, starting this side of the room for one character, this side of the room for the other character, and then swap. And that would cover 2 perception rolls each.
So Severin rolled 85 and then a 68. And his perception is 80.
Okay. And Jada for the first roll?
That's 73.
Mm-hmm.
And her perception 63.
Okay. So, first look around for each of you. Nothing. You do. What is here? Is there some bones and kind of rubble and junk there? But both of you are investigating either side of the room, and then you swap. And give me 2 more rolls, please.
Jada rolled an 82.
Yep. Plus what?
63.
Yep. And Severin?
68, 75.
So you investigate the room fully, and there's 4 characters in there that are kind of helping and looking and poking and prodding. You don't see anything. You don't notice anything. There's nothing on the walls. There's, other than some detritus and decaying bits of stone and things here. You don't notice anything. You can't see anything. That's all right. Nicholas, can you give me a perception roll, please?
Uh, 16.
And what's his perception?
45.
Cool. Thank you. Okay. What do you do?
Bit curious, isn't it, Marie, as to what this room... we've got no way of barricading, have we? We got, mind you, no, they walk through walls. What's the point? I don't know. I think, do we leave it here and figure out how, if we want to look at those boxes? That's probably the only thing in this complex we want to look at, right?
Yep. Well.
And so it's a case of getting maybe a couple of people down, as you suggest, and the others maybe look in the boxes and making their ready to flee when possible.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's one to start for next time, but
yeah, I reckon leave it for next time, maybe.
Leave it there. Okay.
Yeah.
Game.
Excellent.
Game over.
Not yet.
Giles, you're probably listening in. Hopefully you caught that. Leave investigations, etc.
Yeah, next session.
Mm.
Sophocles to Yotto, who did some investigating bravely.
Excellent.
Went into the maggot room and checked and went and knocked on the Green Lady's wall.
Yep. He's brave as our friend Yotto.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Right. Interesting. Well, we're here at the end. End of the world.
Yeah.
Good to hear.
Within sight. They're our friends up the other end, aren't they? Surely.
Yeah,
Surely.
I'll be our army.
I was wondering where we put that.
Yeah. That's probably
Next
Mum.
time.
It'll be definitely Mum.
Yeah, could be. You've done well to get us out, I think.
Yeah. Sounds like, I think that's right, though. I think we check those boxes, rapid escape, head for a cave, find some sort of base.
Yeah.
And then in the meantime, we'll probably have to think of some sort of, like you say, invisibility to check out a bit closer.
Yeah, just make our way up. Yeah.
Take it one step at a time. I mean, assuming that's the Tarong people.
Yeah, we need to. You need to get a read on the date, don't we? Need to know how far off we are. I mean, maybe we not need to. I'm sure it'll become apparent as things get closer. But
I mean, it'll be good. Yeah, I mean, I guess they do have a habit of dressing quite alike, don't they?